Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Jan Lewis, welcome to be my guest. Today we have the CEO of The Whole Child in Upton. Many of you who have parked over at the post office and looked up at that beautiful red building onto the side, you'll see the sign, The Whole Child. And for a long time I wondered, are they in there? I wondered if you were there. Welcome. This is Keriann Kimball. And Keriann has a lot of action behind her name here. Master's in Education.
Right.
What is CAS?
Certified Autism Specialist.
Okay. Developmental Specialist, Special Education, FCSN Trainer.
So that's, I received my advocacy training through the Federation for Children with Special Needs in Boston.
Right.
And I was trained by them to also be a trainer. So I can give trainings to parent organizations like CPACs
Right.
On basic rights. For
You know,
children
and
with
also
special
you
needs.
mentioned you can help parents with IEPs.
Right.
That is like pulling teeth. If you've been a parent, I know, getting an IEP, I don't know, the schools probably don't want to spend the money, right?
I think it's a complex issue. There's eligibility criteria that kids need to meet,
Yeah.
and sometimes that eligibility criteria is obvious in a parent, and sometimes it's not, and it takes a little investigating or a different set of eyes to communicate how the child is struggling and what they need to be more successful. And so sometimes it's a matter of helping the district see how the child meets eligibility criteria.
How long has The Whole Child been here in Upton?
So we've been there since 2015.
Okay.
Incorporated in 2016, incorporated nonprofit.
And I love the article that I read in one of the newspapers, the goal for empowering children with the broad skills needed to live in today's world.
To live a happy life in today's world.
Now, this goes on a lot of children with ADHD. You deal with that, autism, anxiety. Many children come here with a diagnosis of those, but many do not.
Many do not.
Do you have to figure it out yourself? Or do you
No. Actually, the diagnosis is not critical to us. We just want to understand the child, and so hence the whole child, and what they need.
Right.
So many times parents can identify what the gap is, or lack of skill or development. Many times they can't.
Yeah.
They just know something's not right. Something isn't working right. My child's getting into trouble. My child's not making friends. My child's emotional responses aren't what I think that they should be. Maybe they're under-responsive. Maybe they're over-responsive.
Yeah.
And the parents need some help figuring that out. So basically, our intake process is really thorough. So it involves conversations with parents, it involves some documentation from parents, it involves some observation on our part. And basically what we want to get to is we want to identify goals that the parents have to help their child. And sometimes we help the parents articulate what those goals are.
Yeah.
And then from there, we'll determine what service can help the most from there. So if they come with a diagnosis, obviously that's helpful, because I can have more of that paperwork to look at. I'm still going to observe the child myself and take a lot of parent input direct from the parent. But like I said, many times they don't. And sometimes they're just kids who could be shy or could have had some trauma, or maybe they're living a complex dynamic at home, and it makes things harder. Maybe they don't have a lot of consistency and routine in their life, not to be anybody's fault, but it does affect children. So sometimes we're able to provide that, and other times it's parenting support, parenting teaching, workshops.
I know that when my son was in preschool, they have story time, and they all sit together and they listen to the teacher read. Well, they told me, Jan, he's his own man. Doesn't want to sit there with the team. He wants to go over and we work with the gadgets and things like that. I said, oh, okay. By the time he hit kindergarten, the teacher was very sweet. She sat down with me and she said, I think he has ADHD. And at first I thought, you're nuts. I thought it was some kind of soup du jour, the label they gave. They gave so many kids. And I said, he's just enthusiastic. And I let it go. Then I thought about it. I took him out to UMass, had him diagnosed. Yeah, it looked like he did. Looked like he did.
Okay.
And so here we go. A lot of the parents in my group, we began giving them the medication. he'd have reactions, he would get sick, to this day, and he's 26, he reminds me, you guys gave me a lot of medication. I don't know what else we were supposed to. The teachers said, well, you've got to take care of this. What?
And so medication is one way,
Yeah.
and some kids respond well to it, and some don't.
No.
But it's not the only way.
Yeah.
So, the prevalence of, autism for one is 1 in 59 children.
Why is
today.
this? Why didn't we ever see this before?
I don't think we have. We might have seen it. We just might not have had a name. And a lot of time, and we didn't necessarily try to intervene the way we do now with early intervention, and there's so much that we can do in those early years, those first 5 years of life. The neuroplasticity will never be the same. Kids learn more in their first 5 years of life than they do in the entire rest of their life.
Well, I learned somewhere that by 18 months you start seeing the symptoms of autism.
You can, yeah.
All right, my little grandson, my son's little one, at 8, I was wise to this, and at 18 months I said, guys, when I call out his name, he's not responding to me. He knows I'm here, but he isn't responding. He's too busy doing his own thing. Yeah. I got it. I nailed it. They did.
Yeah.
They got him help. He's in a normal kindergarten.
There you go. Yeah.
He's doing great.
Yeah, early intervention does tremendous work. And in fact now, new research is coming out that autism can be identified as early as 2 months old.
Really?
Yes, by behaviors in the child. I haven't read enough to tell you exactly what that is, but I was surprised to read that.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch new.
It's hard for a grandparent because, you're not the parent, although you almost feel like it because my son was only 19 when they started coming along. But, you think, geez, should I say something? And I thought, what have I got to lose? I mean, this kid probably would help him a lot.
Right.
I just noticed it. I said, I've never seen this in my family before, but I remember what they said. I said, something's not right. He's not, when I say Wally, the little Wally the fourth, he isn't looking at me at all.
That was a good pickup, yeah.
Yeah, I picked, thank God. And then they did great in Worcester. They'd come to the apartment. They came 2 or 3 times a week.
Early intervention?
Oh, yeah. They got him.
Right.
Now, tell us about the sign. Paul, can you zero in on this great big, they were beautiful poster they brought in.
Yeah, so a mother of one of our clients or students, participants, if you will, comes to the whole child, is as you can tell, very talented graphic designer. And she came in one day and she said, you do such amazing things, but your website's kind of mom and pop, and your signs need some help. And I said, well, we're nonprofit. Sure. I mean, we don't have money to put into these kinds of things. And she said, let me help you. And so she's really giving us a nice look.
Social skills groups.
Yes. So this talks about what we do. So we have social skills groups. We have social coaching for families, individuals at school and daycare.
Yeah.
And so our specialties are autism, ADHD, and anxiety. But like we said, we help all kinds of kids.
Right.
Specialized tutoring. So we do have Wilson reading and executive function coaching. Parenting support, expressive arts. We have an incredible art teacher.
That is so important.
Incredible art teacher. And
art.
Education, consultation, and advocacy.
What is this now? She brought in, become a peer buddy. What is this all about?
So we're really excited about this. This is one of our initiatives.
Yeah.
So we help the kids who come to TWC. One of the main issues they come is that they want to have friends, be a better friend, understand how to communicate and maintain relationships.
Sure.
Because most of them started off with a language delay, they didn't develop their social skills along the continuum that we would expect. So, and that always lags.
Yeah.
Because their typical peers, when you're 4, if you go say hi to a friend and they don't say hi back, well, when you're 4, you don't have repair strategies and you walk away.
Yeah, right.
So that other 4-year-old who's language delayed is not getting that social reciprocity back, so they're not learning that. And we find that lags all the way up.
Yeah.
So what we're hoping to do now, we're looking for peer buddies. We struggled with, should we call it a mentor? Should we call it a model?
Oh, I like this.
They are social models, yes.
Yeah,
but we wanted to take out that implication of superiority that you kind of hear in mentor and model. Because what we all really need is a friend.
Yeah.
If you don't have a friend, you're alone. It's like a basic social need, okay?
Definitely.
So when we're asking somebody to be a peer buddy, we're asking them to come to our social groups and just participate, just give us that social model, if you will, but participate and be friendly and look to be a friend to the kids that we're teaching social skills to.
Now, does the peer buddy know that they're a buddy?
Yes.
So they know enough. Are they the same age or a little bit older?
So it depends on, we're very dynamic focused, so it depends on the dynamic of the group and the needs of the child. And some children may be 15, but really socially they're 12.
Oh, so you have all ages.
All ages.
What are they? What's it
So
called?
from 3 all the way to 18.
Oh, I thought this was a little kid.
No, we have little kids groups, but they go all the way up.
Okay, so this is like a regular school day.
No, they come. So the little kids may come during the morning, depending on what their program is outside of, whether they have school programming or not. But the other kids tend to come after school. So we're most active between, I'd say, 3 and 8 o'clock at night.
How can they get in touch with you?
So I think the best way to look for us is at thewholechildmatters.org. And then you can email me through there. You can email any of the different services coordinators through that. We're not always available to pick up the phone.
Sure.
And again, that's being nonprofit and conserving our resources. Maybe someday we'll have somebody sitting by the phone all the time.
How about visiting? Can a parent knock on and say, "May I visit?"
So that's happened before.
Yeah.
The only difficulty with that is that we are all going to be hands-on with the children at the time.
Yeah.
So you can't guarantee that there's somebody available to really talk with you and answer your questions.
Is there a limit to how many children can be there, like, say, in an hour or two?
So, we have different groups going on in different spaces.
Sure.
So we keep our maximum at 6 kids in a group, and that's with at least 2 providers.
Right.
And our providers are very skilled. So they have specialties in all different childhood domains. So when we're matching kids to groups, we're matching them to the dynamic of the kids that are in there, because we want them to socially benefit from one another. But we're also going to match the goals of that group to the skill set of the social coach or facilitator of the group.
And they don't have to be from Upton, right?
Oh, absolutely not.
How
we
far?
have got a good 20-mile radius who comes to us.
We're talking with Keriann Kimball, and she is the CEO of the Whole Child over in Upton. She's a special education specialist. She's an autism specialist, developmental specialist, FCSN trainer, educational consultant. Now, the FCSN, did you have to go to Boston to learn this?
I did.
You did. What did they teach you there?
So it was a really intensive training, I'll tell you. I went to, I think the one I did was once a week for 6 months maybe, but they also have very intensive 1 week.
Wow.
But they go through all of the educational laws, the history of the laws, mediation tactics, just human mediations, just being able to manage a conflict, because sometimes communications, unfortunately, between the school and a family can feel adversarial.
Our mediator, I'd never met her. She was fantastic.
There's specific skills
They
involved.
come in, she spoke with me and everything, listens to my concerns and needs from my son. Then she went into the other room. A lot of parents are intimidated because they're like one with how many of the school people around them who are very clever at turning, I hate to say it, but they're good at turning things around. And if the parent doesn't realize, I have help and it's free out there.
Right.
I have somebody who can monitor this, mediate, and take care of this. But a lot of them trying to get it. What's that other one? The first one, the 504?
504?
That was not easy, but it was a lot easier to get than an IEP.
Right. Well, 504 is part of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and so that provides accommodations. Yeah. So that's the same law that says that a seeing eye dog can't be prohibited from walking through a grocery store, because it's part of providing access.
But what would that do with a regular, pretty normal kid who has ADHD? How does that figure in?
So what that does is, let's say that child needs accommodation. So you're not modifying the curriculum, but you're accommodating the fact that they might need some breaks. Yeah. They might need their papers to not, let's say their test is a multiple choice test. Well, you really shouldn't have all the options on one page, but they have to flip pages back and forth because that can.
I remember.
That's going to skew the results of your test, because now what you're actually testing is their ability to flip pages and maintain their working memory to answer the questions, rather than their ability to recall the information.
Well, they sure didn't do that. I always wondered, what are they doing that's any different? And then somebody clued me in, you go for an IEP.
So an IEP is that's through the IDEA law.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a different law, and an IEP has goals. Curriculum can be modified.
Mm-hmm.
Accommodations are also on an IEP, but the goals there's a service delivery schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So there are specific staff members named in that who are responsible for the child making goals, and then you have, with an IEP, which is an individualized education program, then you also have progress reports, at least as often as report cards come out, that are specific to the child's goals that are on the IEP. So it's different. One provides accommodations for access. Mm-hmm. The other modifies curriculum and provides specialized instruction.
Well, I wish I had known about you. Well, you weren't here yet, but boy, my son, they put him in a classroom, special ed, where he didn't belong, and he felt like, why am I in here? He didn't have a problem with comprehension or learning or anything. His was more energetic, the behavioral.
Right.
And I don't know why it took them forever to realize, well, if he doesn't want to do homework at home, we'll have him do it at here. No kidding. And he did.
Oh, great, good.
He wanted to come home and kick back and relax.
Sure.
I don't blame him.
Needed to.
So
he was probably working so hard to stay attentive in school.
Yeah, and he did it. He got it. I'll never understand it. I'm hoping it's improving. With more people like yourself, it's improving. Again, how can they reach you with the whole child?
The best way is through our website, or email me at kkimball@thewholechildmatters.org.
After school hours and weekends, bring children and families for parent and child healthy cooking classes, physical fitness for children with autism, yoga, and mindfulness classes for children struggling with anxiety and more. Where were you when I was growing up?
And those really aren't even, I wouldn't say, our most popular services. Our most popular services are the social skills groups and play development groups. And
that must be fun.
It is really fun. And in our play development groups, our waiting room is open for parents to sit and watch.
Sure.
So that they're also learning techniques and they're able to see what might be happening in the classroom.
Yeah.
And how we respond and how we can help the child through those tough moments. And then I'm able to better articulate to the parents. So you know how you were saying he keeps getting in trouble, he's pushing friends.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing is that he's sensory seeking. And he does really well with a weighted animal. He can sit longer in a circle. It's that simple.
Do you ever have animal like the not service dogs, but the comfort pets come?
So we haven't, but that's something we'd like to do. We just had our pet show, which is our very first fundraiser ever, and it was so much
When
fun.
was that?
So that was November 17th at Memorial School, and we'll do it again. We're thinking November 9th. We're hoping it's going to just be an annual event. We've had a lot of requests for it to be an annual event.
It was a pet show?
It was a pet show, but it was interactive with the kids. So it started with our kids who come to TWC.
Yeah.
We just talked so much about friendship because that's essential to what we do. And we kept finding these common threads that the kids love their pets.
Yeah.
And their pets are really close friends to them. And so we talked about why. Why are they? Well, they're forgiving. They're loyal.
Yeah.
They listen. They don't judge you.
They cuddle.
They come back.
Yeah.
Right? They're there for you and you can feel it.
We always made sure that my son he grew up with cats, I don't know how many. He even saw the birth. He had his own cat. And I thought, what better time? So I said, well, you can pat her while she's in labor, and you can stroke her. And he learned, and he watched the babies being born.
Oh.
But he had a couple guinea pigs. He had, I think he had a hamster. Now, at 26, he's got one of these exotic turtles and a cat.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, pets are therapeutic on so many levels.
Yeah.
So, we said, let's take that and run with it. And we invited the children to bring their pets and showcase them. So they had to practice their social skills because they knew that they would be entertaining questions about their pets. So that was one part of the pet show was
That's ingenious.
the exhibit hall.
Yeah.
Well, we, would meet about what are we going to do for a fundraiser, and then we'd drop it because it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like it matched our mission. And I wanted the kids involved. Yeah. But it really was wonderful. Some of our older kiddos who are working on some higher level social skills ran the bake sale. They ran. They were part of the T-shirt sales. They were part of the admission. They were part of planning the event with us.
When's your next one like this? I want to go.
Well, we're thinking about it. We're thinking about what we can do next. But actually, one of our initiatives is we want to get the kids out into the community more.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because we're doing really great work within our walls. Yeah. We want to bring it out in the community. We want to bring our kids out in the community with our coaches. So we're looking for in-kind donations from places like bowling alleys and pizza stores and just like urban air type places, jump parks. So we can get them out there. These are kids who might not have either been invited to many birthday parties, or if they did, they didn't have great experiences.
Do you ever take them to Southwick, the zoo?
We haven't, but that's on our wish list. We'd love to do that.
Is there a fee, Marianne?
Oh,
Keriann, yeah.
So there are fees for our different services. Okay. But again, we are nonprofit, and we have just, thanks to a couple very significant gifts and really hard work with fundraising, we finally have a scholarship fund now.
There you go.
That we can start to. Well, it's been a long, hard journey to get to that. Yeah. We finally have it, so we're going to be able to give more families access to our services.
Yeah, so you have parents on SSI or SSDI or on whatever, even if it's temporary. There's no way they can afford like 100 here and there. I mean, it just would be unheard of. And yet the kid really needs that.
It really needs it. And to be honest, our services are the cost is very low. They're as low as they possibly can be for us to survive and maintain.
Yeah.
But there are still families who anything is hard.
Where are you located? Tell everybody where you are.
So we're right behind the Upton Post Office in that really cute red building. It technically is 2 Maple Ave, but our access driveway is actually 112 Main Street.
Yeah, so if you're going to the post office and you're parking your car, you look up to that red building. It says The Whole Child. It always looks so quiet over there. I'm like, where are the kids?
It might depend on what time you're coming.
Yeah.
Because after school, it's
a lot of kids.
A lot of kids.
Now, are you in one big room, or how do you separate the age groups?
Oh, no, we have, so downstairs, so right now we're in 2 buildings, actually. We're in the 112 Main Street white building, and then the big red building, which is 2 Main. Yeah. But they're connected by a parking lot. And soon we'll fully occupy the red building. But we have really great spaces in there. Yeah. So one is geared toward the younger kids, looks a lot like a preschool classroom, and that's our therapeutic playroom. It's big and inviting. We have awesome dramatic play that we keep changing. Yeah. We have an art room and a kitchen right now. We have a girls' space, which is really funky for the girls, for all the girl groups. It's there. It's Girl Town, and they love it.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have a bigger upstairs. There's like a sensory gym and an open gym with a wood floor. We have a conference room that we use for some of the teen groups.
When I look at that building, I didn't realize there was so much inside.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful space, and we've done a lot to it to maintain it and get it to sort of customize it to what we need. So right now it's working well for us, and we love it, so we take really good care of it, and we think that it hugs
January,
you
2015.
when you walk in.
2015, right?
2015, yeah. In 2016 we were incorporated nonprofit.
So parents out there, you have a child with ADHD, autism, anxiety disorder.
Or you're just not sure.
You're not sure. Contact Keriann, and it sounds to me as if this girl has really earned her chops. I mean, it's that to go out into Boston and take those classes, to be a good mediator, you got to be sharp, because, as I said before, I knew parents that would walk in and be so intimidated.
Right.
To be 1 or 2 parents with a table full of, of suits.
And so I think the other important piece to add is that I've been there. I'm also a parent of 2 children with special needs.
Yeah.
And I'm a special educator, and I worked for Shrewsbury Public Schools for many years.
How old are your children, Keri?
So my children are 15 and 17. Which, gosh, that goes by fast.
Right. And did it work well for them? Your expertise. You were lucky.
This is why the whole child's here, because it was so hard to get them what they needed.
Oh, wow.
And even being, even having this being my specialty, it still was hard. So I just felt like the only reason why I left Shrewsbury, which I loved so much, was that it was another full-time job getting my kids what they needed, and it shouldn't have been.
No.
And I kept thinking about all the other kids who need help and their disabilities may not be identified or identified correctly, and parents who are feeling ashamed and blamed and confused and the support they need. And I just wanted to create a place where those kids can come, develop a healthy sense of self, an honest and healthy sense of self, develop strategies and coping skills that they need, empower the parents.
A lot of the teachers, we got about 2 minutes left, the parents don't, the teachers are not, I don't blame them, they're not skilled in all this. So when Wally would have trouble with a particular teacher, some of them were wonderful. The warm and laid back ones who didn't, I don't know, crack a whip, he got along with very well. But a lot of the teachers, you know, would be like, well, have you taken him to the doctor yet? Is he on medication? I'm like, wait a second, you know, just hold it. Just, again, how can they get a hold of you, Keriann?
So the best way is to email me at kkimball@thewholechildmatters.org, or check us out on our website, thewholechildmatters.org.
And just come over to Upton, okay, right where the post office is. And don't be shy. You know, if you're a parent who, you know, you're going through hard times financially, okay, do not hesitate to contact Keriann, all right? There were a lot of us out there. I remember the days. And I thought, my God, how much is this mediator going to cost me coming in from Boston? Nothing.
Well, that was through the BSEA.
That was through the and she came all the way from there down to Grafton. Yeah, it was Grafton. And it was like, you know, somebody sent an angel.
Right.
We got along great. She knew exactly what to do, and the problem was solved.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
We're going to be
having
back
us.
on again because we have to get the word
great.
out more to parents, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to suffer through a lot of stuff that even 10 years ago we had to with our own kids, okay? So, and now I've got my son's little one coming up. Hopefully they caught that autism real quick.
Yep.
He's doing all right.
Can do great work.
Super focused.
Yep.
He's doing all right.
Can I give one more shout out for peer
Oh,
buddies?
definitely. Yeah, go for it.
So I just want to invite kids who feel like they can be empathetic and patient and have good friendship skills to reach out to us at be a buddy at thewholechildmatters.org, or look at our website, look at the peer buddy program, and reach out to us, because you really have an opportunity to be the change that we need to see. And
is there a
that's the
phone
best
number
way.
or email they could use? Some people.
Sure.
What is that?
So that's 508-603-1711. And we will get back to you. It just might be a day or two.
Yes, you know, it'd be great, you guys out there, you younger kids. You want to be a peer buddy, someone who's, you've already gone through ADHD and autism, you're really succeeding, and you want to help somebody who's going through it now. Boy, would it be great to have you on board.
And we support our peer buddies. We give them the training they need to have the repair strategies.
Not scary, right?
Not at all. No, we will support them all the way through.
Awesome. Have you been over to the high school and gotten the word out?
It's on our list. We've been so busy within our walls. That's why our initiative is to get out there more.
Well, you're going to be able to get out a lot of places on this, because
Good,
you're
great.
on YouTube, you're internationally
so.
online,
Yeah.
you're everywhere.
Great.
Lovely.
Good.
Thank you so much for being with
Thank you.
us. We'll see you next time. I've been a
Okay.
guest.